Hello, 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 everybody. This is your faithful friend, Sandra Graves. Anyway, today we are going to have a great interview. We have someone straight from Malaysia. It is early in the morning over there. And over here where I am, it is actually night. So welcome to the call. Don't forget that we are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, whenever God allows us to do that. And we are here just to serve you, to help you grow, to help you make an impact in your own life. And that's the reason why I try to consistently bring you different stories. And today we have Dr. Michael Heah, and he is going to be talking about the 10 C's of coaching. What are the 10 C's of coaching? I don't know. That's the reason why we are here. Michael, he is a coach, he's a speaker, but he's going to be telling us more about who he is, because if I keep talking, I'm going to make up stuff that is going to make it sound like really amazing, and it might be a lie. So let me just shut up and let Michael decide what is it that he want to tell us about him, and then we get into the topic. Is that good? Okay, let's do it. So Michael, welcome! Michael! So Michael, tell us first, who is Michael here?
Well, Michael here is someone that you are seeing right in front of you right now. Okay, and I am a I am a master certified coach from the International Coach Federation. Something that I got about 4 years ago. Very very happy with it because that is the pinnacle of what anyone who wants to be in coaching could get into. And I'm so glad that I got this credential from ICF as a master coach. Now, I've been in coaching for the last 18 years. In fact, I could say that, in some ways I have brought the ICF brand of coaching into this part of the world. And that was like 18 years ago, sometime in 2003, I believe, yeah. And since then, there was no turning back, and I just went on and on in this wonderful coaching journey. I really love, this thing that I'm doing. Very, very passionate. Some people say that is almost like your wife. Yeah, I would say so. I wouldn't disagree with that. And I do everything in the name of coaching. I write, I blog, I conduct programs in coaching, and of course I coach quite a lot of people, and all in the name of coaching that I've been doing for the last 18 years.
Well, it sounds like you're a man with a lot of passion, because for you to be doing all those things, it requires a lot of passion.
Yes, indeed, very, very much. Because I think it's because my own life has changed. I have taken that medicine, if I call it, that coaching medicine for myself. And I found that it's really good for me, and it's really working for me. And my life has changed so much because of what coaching, has done for me, and it's still doing for me, actually.
Okay.
So if something is good, like they say, the taste of the pudding is in the pie. So I'm one of those who actually had a taste of it, or having a taste of it, a lot of taste on it, in fact. So I just feel that the world needs coaching, and that's why I am still alive and kicking as far as coaching is concerned.
You're still alive and kicking, and I am glad that you're alive and kicking, because I want us to know more about that. What are the 10 C's of coaching? Let's start with number one. What is that?
The first C of coaching is the milestone, we call that connect. Okay, that's the first C. That means, in other words, before we get into a relationship, before we get into an engagement, before I talk to you, Sandra, we need to build something together. We need to find common grounds. We need to create an impression. And in the coaching, we say we need to create a very safe environment for people to be in, so that people are relaxed, people feel accepted, people feel respected.
Yeah.
And once that course is clear and people are well warmed up and they are comfortable, that means we have done a great job in the connect milestone. And then we are ready to go.
That's great. So
that's the first milestone.
So you said the first one is relationship?
Connect.
Connect.
Yeah, connect. Connect's the first one.
Connect. And the second one?
And the second one is the one called contract. Okay, contract. Contract means, in other words, establishing an agreement. What are we here for? What do you want to talk about? What support you need, and all that, so that we can keep that session very, very focused, very, very productive, and doing what it should be doing. So contracting is a very, very important milestone in coaching because that will set the direction, that will set the entire what they call the entire or should I say, it will then get the progress of coaching going in the right way, as what both the coach and the coachee have agreed upon. So that is the contract milestone, and that goes on to the third one. If I can do that, huh? So the third one is to clarify, to know what is the situation, to know your story. So a typical question a coach would ask around that would be, so how do you want to begin talking about your agenda? So it will go on, okay, it's about, my relationship with, my boss, and I'm not really happy with it. I want to improve it and all that. So the coach then gets a very good idea of the story, picking up all the key details, because that is the basis upon how that coaching is going to work as it moves on,
Yeah, because I guess most people will start out and they just start like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, and they're very confused, and then they're just going, but they don't really know. So that's where the clarifying come in, right?
Yeah. And they clarify against the agenda that you set, so that we stay very, very focused on the topic, because when someone gets emotional, they will go and start, they are just like on top of the world. They could be, very overwhelmed with their emotions and all that. So they tend to sometimes sway away from what should be the topic that we should be talking about, that the contract milestone has established early on. Yeah.
That's me.
That's
I
right.
get all emotional.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. So so it's a very clear, focused, clarifying, and once that what you call that story is up, those details are up, then the coach moves on to the next milestone, and we call that challenge. So challenge is about reframing. Challenge is about raising of self-awareness. Challenge is about making mindset shift in that person. Like an example would be, and that's really very important, because challenge is really a very important milestone before you move to the next milestone, because the next milestone that you move into is the milestone called co-create. But we got to do a very, very good challenge here. Like I said, those things like you have to reframe, you have to make a shift in their perspective.
Yeah.
You have to find, some silver lining in what they are saying. So it could be a simple thing like, okay, so you have said so much about your boss, and your boss is so no good. Let me ask you a question. If there is something good about that boss of yours, what would that be? So there you are. You get a person totally shifting herself or himself, from a time when he was like, the boss is so bad, to suddenly, someone came along with a question and said that if there was something that was good about your boss, what would that be? If there was a time when you had a good relationship with a boss, what was it?
Most people
How did that happen?
Most people would say is the money. He give me money.
Yeah, and then the coach will ask, well, yeah, sure, I totally agree with you with money, but apart from money, what else could it be? So there you are, you start shifting your client, and the light bulb, get lighted up.
Okay, let me play the devil advocate here. I am your client, and I tell you that money is what my boss gives to me. I couldn't think of anything else. What would you tell me? You can't just tell me, no. What would you say to that person?
And why are you then still unhappy with your boss?
Why am I happy with my boss? Because he have an attitude. He is annoying. He complains too much. La 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 la. I could have a list. But you just told me was to think of what I like about him, and I would say the money. Yeah, but I can also be the devil advocate and saying, he don't really pay me. His company paid me. So So, okay.
Yeah. And okay, yeah, you would have that. And then of course, the boss, the coach doesn't stop there. The coach will ask Christians like, so do you really want to improve that relationship with your boss?
I don't know.
Okay. And then why did you bring it up?
Because I maybe want to transition into a different job. Maybe I saw that there is a boss in the other department. There is this manager, and I really would like to work with him, but I like what I'm doing over here.
Okay. You like what you're doing over here, and you also like something out there. If you were to, decide, make a decision,
That's
whether
right.
it's staying on where you are and going down there, what would that be for you? You know, that kind of a stuff.
Well, for me, I'm playing still the customer here, and I would say I want to be recognized in my position. I want for them to
Okay.
know that I am doing a great job.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I hear you loud and clear. I could see the passion, on your face. Suddenly you are lighted up when you spoke of money, but that money didn't come in with that kind of excitement like what you're doing right now. Okay, so that's good. Now, and what will it take for you to get that recognition?
Repeat that.
What would it take for you to get that recognition that you just mentioned?
Getting noticed, I guess.
Get notice, okay.
I'm
And
not, I think I'm already doing an amazing job.
okay. And is your boss giving you enough of this?
Enough what?
Enough of this? Enough of recognition?
I think my boss is not. He just complains too much. We do a lot of
Ah,
work for him. The entire department do a lot of work for him, but he never give recognition.
hmm. Okay. And if you can be an exception, it
Uh-huh.
looks like what you say is, he doesn't give recognition to anybody.
Right.
Okay. But you want to be an exception to the rule. You want the boss to respect you. So what needs to happen?
I need to stand out of the crowd.
Yeah. And are you doing that?
I think I am, but I think I can improve that a little more.
Okay. Wonderful.
Good
Thank
job! I just tested your coaching. Yes, and I love it. Okay, so now
you
let's
so
go
much.
to was at the fifth C, right?
The
That was the
challenge, yeah.
challenge. Okay, that was
Yeah.
really good. That was really good. You know,
And
I don't I don't have a boss right now because I work for myself, but my
yeah.
clients are my bosses, and
Yeah.
everybody have a boss, somebody that you have to be dependent on. And I just love the way you presented that. And I was the devil advocate, but you came back and you made me think. That was the
Thank
important
you so
part
much.
there.
All right. So the fifth C is a C called co-create. C
Co-create.
O C R A T E. Now, based on that coaching session that you just did,
Uh
that
huh.
fun session,
Yeah.
and your last word was, well, I guess I need to improve more on it.
Yes.
And the coach picked that up, that goal statement, into the co-create milestone, and then asked you a question, Sandra. So what could you do here? And that's where the exploring of options come in. The coach will ask you further question on this, stretch your mind. And I said, okay, Sandra, I like what you just said. If there's one thing even better than what you have just said, what could that be? So that session then becomes very stimulating, very exciting, very creative. And then something would come out from that co-create milestone. That's the fifth milestone. And let's say you say that, the one thing that I need to do is I need to be more what you call accommodating to him. Because right now, I think I am a little bit critical because everything that he says, I try to shoot it down because I always try to be smarter than him.
Yeah.
So I guess I just need to be a little bit more humble,
Yes.
a bit more accommodating, and then I will ask Jason, what could you do here? What could you do here in accommodating in? And that's where you start going into things like maybe praising him a little and say, boss, that was a very good thing that you've just said. I like that idea. Maybe I could just pick up on that. Blah blah blah.
I like that. I like that.
So that co-create becomes great. So the 5 milestones are then completed.
Okay, well, since we went through the 5, we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, I want you to tell us more about those other 5 because this is already exciting. I'm looking forward to more. You too.
Thank you.
Stay right there.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friends, for watching The Code. Don't forget that we are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are bringing you coaches and speakers and classes and experts in different areas in order to help you grow. That's what we are here for. So if you have any comments, questions, or if you are a sponsor, please send us an email to info@envivoassociate.com. Again, info@envivoassociate.com.
We are back. We are back. Anyway, welcome back to The Code. We are here with Dr. Michael Heah, and he is a coach, certified coach. And we were going through the 10 C's of coaching, and we already did the 5. So if you haven't heard it, please go back and listen to it. They were very interesting, and I did play the devil's advocate and try to get him to coach me a little bit here. So it was really positive. All the things that he came up with is really stop making excuses and try to be humble in our growing. It's all about not the other person, but looking inside of ourselves in order to find those answers that we want to find. That's what I got from the 5 C's. So bring on the other 5 C's. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So the 6th C, thanks Sandra, the 6th C, after you have co-created and found a brilliant way of how you can or you want to be different, this time onwards, then that's when the coach asks for commitment. That's the 6th C, commitment. So, and commitment is a very, very important thing because otherwise all the things that you have done will come to naught because you haven't gotten the commitment from your coachee. So a typical question a coach would ask would be, so how committed, Sandra, are you on what you've just said that you would want to do? Okay, and some people are asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your commitment now? Or sometimes commitment question can come in the form of, so how ready are you to use this?
Yeah.
So they come in various forms and sizes, but the key thing is the coach got to get that commitment and got to be very happy and satisfied that the coachee is really committed to doing what she said that she wants to do.
That's correct.
So that's the 6th C. Then comes to the next C. The next C is called change. CHANGE, change. Change is the execution. Based on what Sandra has said earlier on about wanting to make a difference and how she's going to go about doing it, is she's going to be a bit more humble, more accommodating, more respectful of the boss. So that's what she said. But they are all in the form of words. They haven't come into the form of an action. So that's where the change come in, and we call that's the execution, the implementation. So the first thing that I would be asking Sandra would be, so when will all this going to happen? When are you going to start doing this? Okay, I could do, let's say tomorrow we're having a meeting. So I want to be very nice. I want to, do all those things that I say that I will be doing. Very good, very good. So what exactly will you say? What exactly will you do? What, uh, what, uh, what words, what self-talk are you going to tell yourself and put into your mind when you are with a boss, interacting with him? What kind of feelings do you want to call out to make you do those things that you want to say? So that's the change.
I am ready to create that new version of myself.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So it is really very intrinsic. Whereas when you go into the co-create, the coachee will tell you a lot of things that they want to do. And I always park those things as the extrinsic of coaching. And that's required. We need the structures. We need some tangibles down there. But we also need the intangible. We also need the feelings. We also need the self-talk that goes into the person. So that's the intrinsic. That's the real side of making things happen.
Yeah.
So that's the change. And the coach spent a lot of time on that because that's the one that's the killer. Because if you don't do that very well, no matter how much commitment that they say they will make on it, but they still won't do because there's something down there that stops them from, going forward.
Okay, let's go to the 8.
So that's the change.
Let's go to the 8.
And the 8th one is continue, sustainability. Yeah, you may just do it once or twice, and you may just give up. Or you may not even do it more than once, you know what I mean?
So
the coach will ask a question
be consistent.
like...
Need to be consistent.
Yeah, consistent, you got to sustain that until that habit becomes a behavior. No, until the behavior becomes a habit. So the continue will go on and on and on and on until that behavior becomes, part of that person, second nature.
Yeah.
So it's like almost the end of that coaching, what you call, how should I say, journey. And that's where the coach goes into the 9 milestone, which is the check.
Yeah.
It's like asking out, Sandra, so you have seen your boss, and let's say his check is done 2 weeks later, and I'll ask, Sandra, so how did it all go? Yeah. So did you do all those things that you said that you want to do? So there's a check, there's a feedback session, there's a dialogue that goes on to see how the coach is progressing and what she's learned from there and what more that she wants to do next time, what else she wants to do, and all that into that dialogue session called check. And of course, finally, you wrap it up in the thing called a close, asking the coachee, so how did you feel about the entire, journey that you've gone through together? And what are some of those things that she's learned that she could be using also in other parts of her life, not just your boss. Maybe it's your husband, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's, so you are expanding that learning that you've gotten out from this coaching on your boss to something much more bigger in your life.
Yeah.
That brings the tendency to a nice close.
Yep. I like that. So let's go to number 9.
Yeah. Like I said, the number 9 one is the one called check.
Check?
The dialogue session. Yeah, check. Just checking on the progress.
So it's like accountability, kind of.
Accountability, that's right.
Okay.
And the progress that is made. So that's the 9.
And what is the 10?
And the 10 is the wrap up of the session, just like what's going to happen in a few minutes between you and me. We're going to wrap up the whole thing, reinforce some key learning, ask how he's going to apply or she's going to apply the learning that she has made, in this, what you call, episode of her life, to the other things that are also dear to her. Maybe her friend, maybe her spouse, maybe a colleague, maybe somebody else that she could use the same thing about humility and respectful and all that to other things in her life. That's why I always believe that coaching is a bigger, it's something that is much more larger than life. A coachee comes to you for a particular issue, but the learning that the coachee gotten out of this particular session is so useful that she can actually use that for other things in her life.
Yes, that's right.
Other people in her life, you know what I mean?
That's right. And a lot of people have it very confusing because they think that coaching is counseling. And I keep trying to tell them it is not the same thing. One is emotional, the other one is achieving your goals. Anything. A coach doesn't have to know what you know. He only have to be able to go inside, help you dig in the information that you already have and bring it out. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right.
And
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 a coach.
and let me tell you guys, if you are listening right now, please visit Dr. Michael Heah. The information is right at the bottom of this website. It's www.corporate-coach.com. And is there any other place that they can reach you? Do you have a Facebook or Instagram where they can reach you?
Oh yeah, I have my blog. It's called Stories That Coach, and it's under www.mikehea.com.
And one last word that you want to share with us before we close the session? You have something that you want to share with them?
Yeah, it's like when we want to develop somebody and when we want to help somebody, we have to be very holistic in our approach. We have to deal with the extrinsic side of things about that person, and we also need to deal with the intrinsic side of that person. Why sometimes things don't work is because people tend to focus a lot on the extrinsic and not on the intrinsic, or they are too much on the intrinsic of that person and not paying much attention to the extrinsic. So if this extrinsic and intrinsic side of coaching or helping people is made to be very balanced, very what you call very prominent in the way you do things, then I feel that there's a very high chance that we could actually help many people in this world. And that's what coaching is all about. And that's what the 10 C's of coaching is all about, addressing both the extrinsic and the intrinsic of people development.
Well, thank
So
you
this
for
is
your
the last one.
time. This was very educational, informative. I like the way you presented it. And I hope that if you are listening right now, I hope that you got what you needed from this session. This is not the last time that Dr. Michael is going to be with us. I definitely want to say it live. Dr. Michael, you are
Thank
invited
you.
to come back again and again and again. We want to learn
Thank you.
more from you. So please just tell
Thank
us
you.
what other things then that you want to share with us, and we are ready to learn.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to talk to you, Sandra. You are such a great person to talk to.
Well, thank you. I really
Yeah.
had fun learning from you, and you have a lot to teach us. So thank you again. And thank you guys for being with us here. Don't forget that we are here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, whenever God allows. And if you want to interview with us, please send us an email to info@envivoassociate.com. Again, info@envivoassociate.com. And bye-bye. See ya.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.